Hello, in this topic we will see a smaller revision about the quadratics and how we can solve word problems. First, let's see some basic things. The quadratic equation should look like this: ax squared plus bx plus c equals with 0. A is the coefficient of x squared, b of x, and c is the constant. Now, there are two ways of solving this quadratic equation. One way is by factorizing it. We'll see very fast how I can do that. And B way, by using the quadratic formula. This formula will be given to you, so you don't need to memorize it. Let's see the first one, which is how I can solve this equation by factorizing. Let's say that we have this equation: x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal with 0. So now so as to factorize it, the first step is to find two numbers, p and q, where when I multiply them, they should give me 6, the constant, and when I add them, they should give me 5, the coefficient of x. Which are these two numbers? If you will try with numbers, you will see that these numbers is 2 and 3. So this one can be written as x plus 2 times x plus 3 equals with 0. Now, did I solve my quadratic equation? Not yet. I just factorized it. Now, what does it mean x plus 2 in a parenthesis times x plus 3? It means that either x plus 2 should be 0 or x plus 3 should be 0. And now I have a simple linear equation to solve. So how much is x? From here, x is minus 2. And from here, x is minus 3. This is pretty straightforward. If I would have another equation, let's take some different coefficients. Let's say I have minus 5x plus 6 equals with 0. Now again, I should find two numbers that when I multiply them, they should give me 6, and when I add them, they should give me minus 5, because the coefficient of x is minus 5. So which are these two numbers? Now if you will try again, you will see that it's minus 2 and minus 3. Minus 2 plus minus 3 is minus 5, and if I multiply them, it's plus 6. So how I can write that? I can write it x minus 2 times x minus 3 equals with 0, which again, two things equals with 0. It means the one thing should be 0 or the other thing should be 0. So from here, x is 2 or x is 3, and I found the solutions. Now, the next way that I can solve, I will use the same quadratic equation. I want to solve this way is by using the formula, the quadratic formula. Let's say I have x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals with 0. How I will solve it? I will use the formula. What's the formula? The formula is x 1 comma 2, the first solution, and the second is equal minus b. Again, a quadratic is written like this, the general form, a quadratic equation. So a is the coefficient of x squared, b the coefficient of x. So it's minus b plus minus, because I have two solutions, square root b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a. It's a simple substitution. It's a formula where if I'll substitute correctly and do the calculations, immediately I can find the solutions. Let's see it. x1 comma 2 is minus, how much is b? b it's plus 5, so it's b, I'll do it analytically, plus 5 plus minus square root, how much is b? 5 square minus 4 times a, here is 1 always since there's no number, 1 times c, which is 6, over 2 times a, which is again 1. Let's see it. Minus plus 5, it's minus 5, plus minus square root of 25 minus 4 times 1 times 6 is 24 over 2, which is equal minus 5 plus minus square root of 1 over 2, which means minus 5 plus minus 1, square root of 1 is 1 over 2. So here I have two solutions. One is minus 5 plus 1 over 2. I take the plus part. And the other will be minus 5 minus 1 over 2, which is minus 4 over 2, which is minus 2. And the other one is minus 6 over 2, which is minus 3. Now be careful. With the quadratic formula, immediately I have the solutions. What's the solution? X equals minus 2 and x equals minus 3. And if you will see, with the factorization method, what was the answer? X equals minus 2 and x equals minus 3. The quadratic formula it gives me immediately the answer. Now be careful, the quadratic formula, it's mostly I use it when I cannot factorize it. I cannot factorize the quadratic. When I cannot factorize the quadratic here, then I am obligated to take the quadratic formula.